Love in Motion, Catalyst, Mission Anywhere, and we're doing a food drive today. We're so excited. We have all the boxes. Everybody's here, loading up. We've got the truck back here behind us. So excited for today. We're so excited to help everybody. Love you guys. Hey Cata-fam, good to see all of you guys joining in. Love all of you guys and we miss everybody. Can't wait till we can start seeing you guys and hugging you guys and everything and meeting back together. But tonight I just wanted to take a few minutes and share an encouraging message for everybody that God is in control of everything all the time, always. He's in control, and that is such an encouraging thing to know. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what we think should happen. It doesn't matter what's going on in our circumstances around us, in our friends' life, in our family's life, in our job life, in our relationship life, because ultimately God is in control of it all. And so just knowing that, we can rest and be at peace and just know He's taking care of everything and He's working everything out. It made me think of Joseph, when he was sold into slavery by his brothers and he was thrown into prison. You know, he was probably feeling forgotten. He was probably feeling abandoned. He was probably feeling discouraged, sitting in prison, you know, doing nothing, just sitting there. He was probably even feeling a little angry. Like, what did I do to deserve to be here? I didn't do anything. And, you know, we tend to, when we go through things that maybe we've been praying for and the answer isn't what we thought it would be, when we're asking God to come through on something and then like something falls apart, or, you know, you lose your job, you lose your house, that relationship ends, you know, that's that same feeling that Joseph was probably feeling sitting in the prison, discouraged, like, where am I going to go from here? You know, just feeling forgotten, like, God, hello, I'm sitting here. Do you know, like, what's going on? This isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I prayed for. This isn't what I expected to happen with my life. I didn't expect to be sitting here in a prison, you know, and just like us, we don't expect situations and circumstances and things that come up to happen. But all the meantime, while Joseph was in that prison, God was doing 1,000 things behind the scenes to make the way for what His plan was in Joseph's life. He was preparing Joseph's brothers for reconciliation. He was preparing Pharaoh to receive Joseph as someone that God sent. He was preparing the whole land to be able to go to Joseph to get all of the food for their to eat, to live. You know, he was doing all of this while Joseph is just sitting idly in prison, probably just wondering, okay, what, you know, this is crappy. And so just if we can remember that God is always working, you know, Romans 8:28 that we all know, it says God is working all things for our good. John 5:17 says, but Jesus replied, my Father is always working, and so am I. So when we're in situations and circumstances that come up that we're not prepared for, that we've been praying, that didn't get answered, closed doors, all of that, just know God is always working and He's in control. His whole point, if Joseph wouldn't have gone into prison and he wouldn't have been, interpreted those dreams and all of the things that God worked out that had to happen that didn't look good, didn't look pleasurable, he wouldn't have chosen for himself. but God was working it all out for Joseph to feed an entire country, you know? And so not only is he always working, but he hears us. He hears our prayers. Just because he doesn't answer them right away or answer them how we think that he should, he's hearing us, he's listening, he knows. There is nothing we are going through that God is not aware of. And so within that, we can have that certainty that, cool, God knows what I'm going through. Like, I may be freaking out, I may think, what the heck, but God knows. And so God is in control. And since he knows and he loves me, he's going to work it all out for good. The Egyptians, when they were, in slavery with not the Egyptians, the Israelites, when they were in slavery to the Egyptians, and they're praying to God, like, Lord, save us, like, free us from this slavery. And they're praying and they're praying and they're like, God isn't hearing us, and they're grumbling and they're complaining. God was still working. He was speaking to Moses, getting Moses ready to lead them. He was preparing the way. And so he does hear us. He hears our prayers. Even if he's not answering them, he hears us. He's watching our situation. There's nothing we're going through that he doesn't know. And in Exodus 3:16, when God spoke to Moses, he told Moses to gather everybody together, gather the elders of the Israelites together, and tell them this. Tell them that God appeared to you and say, he told me, I have been watching closely. That right there, like, he's been watching, and he's been watching closely. So he knew their situation. He knew that they were being enslaved by the Egyptians. He knew that they were praying for freedom. He was watching them closely. And while he was watching them, he was preparing, because he is always in control. So we just need to trust him, trust that he is going to get us through everything. We need to trust that he's in control. And that is not always an easy thing to do. It's not easy for us as humans, even though we know that he is God, we know that he's in control, we know he is working all things out for good. We want control. We want to control things. We want to know, okay, I want it to happen like this. I want control. And it's hard for us to release that. It's hard for us, for anybody. It's in our nature to want to control things, to control relationships, control our job. It's hard. And God just wants us to let go and let him do his thing. And it's funny, another nanny story about the little boy, Gates, when we had gotten to where we were going to the park, and we got there. He was in his little car seat and he was buckled up, and I was trying to get him out, and he's holding on to his straps of his car seat, and he is crying and kicking and screaming because he wants out. He wants to get out of the car seat. He wants to go where we were planning on going, to the park. We're there. And he's holding on, and he's like fussing, and he's kicking and screaming. And I'm like trying to unbuckle him. I'm trying to get him out of the car seat, but he's holding on. And I'm like, Gates, you have to let go. You're asking me to get there, but you're holding on, and you're not letting me move. You're not letting me unbuckle you. You're not letting me take you to where you want to go. And so I think just so many times that's us as humans, as Christians. We're asking God for something, we're praying for something, we're going through things, and we want them to be a certain way. We expect it to be a certain way, the way that in our minds we've kind of like said, okay, this is how my life should go, this is how this should go. And if anything is different from that, oh my goodness, it's wrong, I'm freaking out. But God is in control, and we have to let go of what we're holding on to when we're asking God to step in and help us, when we're asking him to step into our lives and just take over, but we're holding on. He's like, let go, let me get you there. Like, let me pick you up and get you there. You're asking me, but you're holding on. And that's easy. That's easy for us to do. We all do it, but we just need to let go and let God. I mean, you hear those, let go and let God. Jesus, take the wheel. But it's so easy for us not to want to let him take the wheel. We want to steer it ourselves. So it's not an easy thing to do, to let go and let God have control. But we need to, because God is in control of everything. We cute little humans, we think that we control everything. We think that, like, we make things happen. No, God is in control of everything. It's so cute. You're so cute that we made all of this work, you know. But anyway, sometimes God wants to get us to the point in our lives, you know, we're praying for things, whatever, that it takes all human ability, I guess is the right word, out of the equation. You know, he wants to get it to where he gets all of the credit when something happens, that he gets all of the glory. Kind of like back with Abraham, you know, he could have given Abraham and Sarah a child at 40 years old, but he made them wait until they were 80. And that's kind of like us, you know, he can do whatever he wants. He can get us that job like that. He can get us that spouse like that. He can heal like that. But we don't know his ways. Like I've said before, his ways are better than ours. They're higher than ours. They're better than ours. We don't know them. And so sometimes when we're going through things and like we lose a job, we lose our house, you know, and it seems like, what the heck is happening? This is not what is supposed to happen. Like, God, I've been praying to you. Why, what is going on? You know, we don't know what his purpose is in anything. All our job is to do is to trust that he is in control of it. You know, trust that he will make a way. Trust that he knows better. He's already gone into the future. He knows what is in the future. And so sometimes he just has to get it down to where, like, we can't say, well, I worked really hard and got that job. He can't say, well, I exercised and I got myself healthier, you know, or like, you know, anything. He wants to get it to where it's completely all 100% glory and credit goes to him. In the book of Kings, when Elijah, you know, the people were divided on who they were worshiping. And some of the people were worshiping Baal. Some of the people, you know, were worshiping God. And Elijah said, listen, there can only be one God. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take 2 bulls and bring them here. And then you guys who worship Baal can pick the one you want, chop it up, put it on the altar, place it on the wood part of the altar. And then we'll chop up the other bull and place it on our altar on the wood. And then we'll pray to our gods. You'll pray to Baal and we'll pray to God. And whoever's God lights the altar on fire, that's the true God. So the first people that worship Baal, you know, they went and they did all of that, and then they started praying and nothing happened. So the next day or whenever, Elijah went and had them chop up the bull, put it on the altar. And then Elijah said, but wait, he had them dig a trench around that would hold 3 gallons, I believe. I think it was 3 gallons of water. And he said, go get 4 buckets and pour it on top of the bull, the wood, the altar, and he had them pour it all over. He had them pour all of the water all over it. So right there, okay, that's making everything soggy. Like, it's going to be hard enough to light that on fire. But not only did he have them do that once, he had them do it again, and then he had them do that a 3rd time until the water actually filled the trench on the outside. And so, to me, what that says is, and like what my realization was, that God wanted, not only would God light it on fire, because spoiler alert, when they prayed to God, he lit it on fire. And not only did he light it on fire, it consumed and burned the whole offering, all of the wood, all of the stones around it, and it licked up all of the water in the trench. So God's like, watch what I can do. But to me, that says, like, not only, if they would have just had the 2 bulls, they prayed to them, it didn't happen. Well, any man can light an altar on fire. Like, in a normal circumstance, like any of the priests could have walked up and lit it on fire. Even if God would have lit it on fire, that's cool, but like anybody could have. God wanted to be like, look, this is me. Like, this is nothing to do with man. Put water on it. Where even if put water on it, 3 times, fill the trench. And if any man says like, oh, well, you could have lit that on fire, something could have happened. No. No man could light that whole altar on fire with it drenched in water and the water all around it. That's out of human possibility. It wouldn't have lit on fire. But God was like, watch what I can do. Took it all completely away from man. Nothing man could have done. And then he lit it on fire and he consumed the water. He licked up the water that was in there. So he wants that. He wants the credit. He wants the glory. He wants it to be out of man's hands. So it's just God doing it. And sometimes in our circumstances, we may not know why things are going on. We may not know why, like, all of this bad stuff has happened. All of this stuff that we have been praying for didn't happen, or stuff, just things we're going through is happening. Sometimes, God just wants to put us in a situation where we're like out of options. God can't do anything. Like, I'm either screwed or you're going to come through. And then he comes through and all of the glory goes to him, Remember, we don't know all of his reasons. We don't know his ways. We're just little bitty humans here on earth. We don't know. And so, he opens doors and he closes doors. And when we remember that he's always faithful and he's always in control, then when there is a shut door or when there is something going on in our lives that we don't understand and we feel lost and we feel desolate, it won't faze us because we know that God is in control and we know that he is working things for our good. Like I said, he shuts doors. Like, we may be praying for something and the doors keep shutting. And that's for our own good. That isn't God being unfair. He knows what we need when we need it, not what we think we need, not what we want, And there was a story that Joel Osteen tells. And there was a guy that was praying for a job. And, he's like, please, Lord, let me get this job. And he went in for the interview. And then he got a second interview. And he was praying, please, Lord, praying for the job. He went in the second interview. And then they called him back later. And they said, the people said, sorry, you're not what we're looking for. And the guy was like, how you are when you pray for something and then you don't get it. You're like, I thought this was perfect. Like, what the heck? God, why are you, I want this job. Why aren't you helping me? I need it. Anyways, it turns out that I think a couple months later, there was something with the booking going on, like a little shady or something in the company, and they actually ended up closing, and the company fell apart. And if the guy would have gotten a job with that company and stayed with them, he would have lost all his retirement, all his benefits, everything. It would have been gone. But God already knew that, and so he blocked it from the guy getting the job. That's how good God is. We may not see it in our little human eyes. We may be stomping our foot and we're so mad and God didn't get us that job, and start resentment building and why isn't he answering me, and why that I had a second interview, I was the best, and throw a little tantrum or a little pity party. But God, he's in control. Let him be in control. When we start realizing that, then we can start shifting our perspective when things happen in our lives or when things don't happen in our lives, We can start shifting them to okay, well, one thing that I do is when I am going somewhere and I need to get there really, really fast and I hit every single traffic light, shift your perspective to oh, well, maybe God is saving me from being a mile up the road. If I would have hit this green light, I would have gone through, and maybe saving me from an accident of a car that ran a red light and would have hit me. It's just a perspective change when you know that God is in control. You hear all those stories from 9/11 with the World Trade Center about people who their alarm clock didn't go off that morning. And so they woke up late and they weren't there on time. And so they weren't there when the planes hit the World Trade Center. They were probably crap, I'm so late. Oh my goodness, why is my alarm clock not going off? Rushing, when God is saving them. Or the person who I think there was one where his shoelaces broke when he was getting ready to work. So he stopped off to get some more shoelaces on his way to work. Therefore, he wasn't there when the planes hit. Or just different stories like that. It's an easy thing to get upset, and those are just little instances, with like a shoelace or an alarm not going off. But like it saved their lives. And God does that constantly, like little frustrations and inconveniences in our lives. If we can just change our perspective, or even just like things we're praying for, like big things, not just little, but big things that we're praying for constantly. Praying. Lord, please heal them. Please heal them. Please heal them. And God doesn't heal them. And then they pass away. Lord, please let me keep this job. I need this job. And then we lose the job. Please, Lord, let me keep this, let me be able to pay my rent. Let me be able to stay in this apartment. And then we get evicted. Like all of those little things, God is up there. He is a puppeteer. He knows what he's doing. And to us, it's an inconvenience. And to us, it's frustrating. And to us, we may feel like, God, you aren't hearing me. Where are you, God? And it's easy to get angry. But when you shift your perspective because he knows better, he's in control, all of those things. Okay, so the person passed away. But you know what? God's in control and he had a plan and there's a reason. And I'm going to choose to believe that reason will come to fruition, whether I believe it or not believe it or not, but whether I see it or not, whether I know what it is. God's in control. Therefore, that was supposed to happen for my benefit, for someone's benefit. When my mom was sick and, she would go into the hospital or something would happen and we'd have to bring her, just different things. Like, I always was like, you know what? Maybe she needs to be in the hospital for this week because there's a doctor that she needs to uplift or encourage, or there's a nurse that she needs to share Jesus with, or they need to see her and see her good attitude and ask, how are you so happy? Like what's, you seem so joyous, and she can share Jesus. Or maybe there's a patient in the hall that while she's like walking, trying to like, exercise her heart, walking through the halls, there's a patient that she needs to run into and just like smile at and encourage, so every time she would go into the hospital, who knows why? But I always knew there was a reason. I always knew God was in control. I always knew God was working. I always knew that no matter whatever is happening is supposed to happen, is going to be for good somehow, whether we know it or not. And just that perspective change and that shift just helps your attitude. It helps you when you're in a frustrating moment or a desolate moment of like, why am I here? Like, I've been praying and praying and praying and praying faithfully without ceasing constantly. And you're keeping this door closed in my life. And you're keeping this door closed in this situation. And you're not answering it how I want you to answer it because we want to be in control. But if you can just remember, which we all know, but if you can just train your mind to remember, God is in control. He's in control. Let go so that he can take you where you need to be. Trust him in your situation that looks great. Trust him in your situation that looks like the end of the road. Let him come through. Let him just be so high on your trust factor. I don't know, just so high in your world. I mean, he created this world. You don't think that he is watching closely on you with his hand on you, taking your right hand and leading you? Just when we go through things, I just want to remind you, a friendly reminder, that God is in control and we can rest in peace in that. Even in our crazy, scary, sad moments, that's his plan. He's watching, and like Joseph in prison, he's doing 1,000 things behind the scene, to get us to where we need to be, and to not even get us to where we need to be, but to work that situation out for his good and the good of everybody. So just remember that God is in control. And just remember, shift your perspective, knowing like when little things happen or when big things happen, be like, I wonder what God is doing through this. I wonder what, we may never know, but it's cool to be in the moment and be like, this isn't fun, but God is doing something, and like, it'll be cool if I get to find out what it is one day. I wonder what it is. and just shift our perspective and remember that God is in control, and it will make your life a lot easier, and it will help you walk forward in life without like this chip on your shoulder, or feeling like God has forgotten you, or feeling like, you know, desolate or upset, or you know, woe is me. Just remember, like, God is working through this situation. So encouragement that God is in control, like the song, God is in control. He is. So just remember that, and he loves you, and he's working all things out for your good. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Love you.
Hi everyone, I think it's awesome what we're doing here. In a time where COVID-19 is rampant, it is one of the most amazing things to be able to assist and help the community. I mean, everyone is going through something really difficult right now, but there's no greater feeling right now than just going out with a focus in mind and making sure that the ones that are homeless and needy are fed and have the utensils and the hygiene that they need, and it's just an overwhelming experience. So I'm just happy about what's going on here, and I hope that in the future we can continue this process moving forward, because it's such an amazing feeling. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Obviously, it's your boy Jimmy D, and we got Renee. We're here doing our straight street outreach, and it's been fantastic. We've gotten to feed about 200 people. We came out here with 60 pies and about 200 hygiene kits and everything else. And Renee, what happened?
We had a blast and met the most amazing people ever, and got to serve them, which is what Jesus tells us to do. And it was so much fun, and I got to meet a ton of new amazing friends, and I love them all. I'm so excited.
And you can tell she's out of breath because she's never that quiet. So we're coming from you live from our Catalyst outreach. Catalyst Mission Anywhere, I Am Church. Love you guys. Stay tuned.
Love you.
All right, hello. It is PJ with Straight Street. It is Tuesday evening, and we are joined by Catalyst Orlando and Mission Anywhere. And it is an amazing night. We are feeding and loving on our friends. We just want you to know that you can join us any Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday at the Powerhouse Church parking lot located at 1025 South Orange Blossom Trail. That's where we feed and we love on our friends, and we want you to join us. So feel free. We begin at 5:30 every evening. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, guys. This guy's amazing. So keep supporting Straight Street. Mission Anywhere love supporting this amazing initiative. So don't stop supporting. Donate and come and support.
Yep, you can find out more about what we do at straightst.org or on Instagram at straightst.org, Facebook, Straight Street Incorporated. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.